Good morning. I am Samriddhi K.C. and these are the headlines of the hour. Government and protesting teachers hold talks at the Education Ministry. Government states to continue discussions and seek the solution. First meeting of the budget session of Parliament faces top leaders' neglect. Congress President and leader of the main opposition party absent from the session. Prime Minister Oli's address postponed. US President Trump's envoy and Russian President hold talks in Moscow. Russian officials claim 3-hour-long discussion to be positive. Zelensky urges allied nations to increase pressure on Russia. And Sunrisers Hyderabad triumph over Chennai Super Kings by 5 wickets in the ongoing Indian Premier League. Chennai suffers loss in its home ground. The government and the protesting teachers have held talks in the presence of Education Minister Raghuji Pant with the chairperson and other officials of the Teachers Federation early this morning to address the demands of the agitated teachers. The ongoing talks at the Ministry of Education are being attended by Education Secretary Deepak Kafle, chairperson of the Confederation of Nepalese Teachers Lakshmi Kishore Subedi, co-chair and coordinator of the protest Nanu Maya Parajuli, and General Secretary Tula Bahadur Thapa. The Education Minister's Secretariat informed that discussions are focused on the teachers' agitation and addressing their demands. Yesterday, the Federation did not participate in the meeting called by the Education Minister, citing technical reasons. The Ministry of Education issued another statement inviting the chairperson and other officials of the Teachers Federation to be present for the talks this morning. The government had previously called on the teachers repeatedly for discussions. Meanwhile, the Federation has stated that they will continue the teachers' agitation, which has been ongoing since April 2nd today as well. The budget session of the Federal Parliament commenced from yesterday. In the first meeting of this session, the ruling Nepali Congress and CPN-UML emphasized the need for the government to make its work more effective according to the public expectations. The opposition parties criticized the government, stating that it has not been able to perform as expected. In the first meeting of the House of Representatives budget session, almost all parties stressed that the government should be serious about addressing the upcoming budget and teachers' demands. Nepali Congress Chief Whip Shyam Prasad Khimire advised the government to focus on effective work instead of paying attention to rumors of the government's downfall. He stated that the government's 9 months have not been satisfactory.
सरकार बनेको 9 महिनामा उल्कै गजबै गर्यो भन्ने ठाउँ नभए पनि मुलुकलाई बदनाम गर्ने र आर्थिक विकासलाई अधोगतिमा लाने काम यो सरकारले गरेको देखिँदैन। तथापि सरकारले आफ्नो गति बढाउनै पर्दछ। सुशासनको मामलामा सरकार आक्रामक ढंगले अगाडि बढ्नै पर्दछ। नेपाली जनताले नेपाली कांग्रेस र नेकपा एमाले जस्ता ठूला पार्टीको बलियो र शक्तिशाली सरकार हो भन्ने कुराको व्यवहारमा महसुस गर्न पाउनु पर्दछ।
CPN-UML lawmaker Gokarna Bista said that solutions to the country's problems should be sought through democratic methods. He emphasized that not all the problems were due to the 9-month-old government and stressed the need to bring a budget that addresses issues like poverty and unemployment.
असहमतिले सुधार गर्ने समीक्षा गर्ने आफ्ना आन्तरिक पद्धतिहरू छन्, त्यही नै समाधान खोजौं, त्यही नै समीक्षा गरौं। तर सरकार गयो वा सरकारप्रति असन्तुष्टि व्यक्त गर्ने, निराशा पैदा गर्ने काम कसैले पनि नगरौं। कहिलेकाहीँ त यस्तो लाग्ने गर्छ सत्तामा रहेका साथीहरू पनि सत्तामा हुनुहुन्छ कि प्रतिपक्षमा, कहिलेकाहीँ चिन्न पनि गाह्रो हुने खालको अवस्था पैदा हुन्छ। यो प्रकारको अवस्थाबाट कम्तीमा हामी माथि उठौं।
Lawmaker Barsha Manpun alleged that some projects initiated by the previous government were left in disarray and the cadres were recruited into the Land Commission. He said that the education bill should be passed through a fast-track process to address the teachers' demand. Rashtriya Swatantra Party's acting chairperson Dol Prasad Aryal stated that the budget session should focus on identifying and solving national problems rather than exchanging accusations. Likewise, Rashtriya Swatantra Party chairperson Rajendra Lingden said that the budget should not be focused on the constituencies of powerful party leaders and that an old-style budget would not be acceptable.
देशको
आवश्यकता र नागरिकको आकांक्षा अनुरूप सन्तुलित विकासको दृष्टिकोणबाट आओस्, न कि सत्तारूढ दलको एकलौटी स्वार्थमा नीति तथा कार्यक्रमको बहानामा उडन्ते सपनाको बिस्कुन लगाउने, बजेटमा सीमित आर्थिक स्रोतको जोहो पनि गर्ने तर कार्यान्वयन पटक्कै नहुने प्रवृत्तिको निरन्तरतामा क्रमभङ्गता चाहिएको छ।
बजेट फेरि पनि गोजीबाटै बन्ने हो, नेताहरूको निर्वाचन क्षेत्र केन्द्रित हुने नै हो। तर पनि कामना गर्छु सुधार होस्, बजेट पुस्तिका च्यात्नुपर्ने, विरोध गर्नुपर्ने नबनोस्।
The opposition parties have accused the major parties of being irresponsible, pointing out that more than 10 billion rupees of corruption has been reported in the construction of Pokhara International Airport and that teachers are protesting on the streets. They also claim that the government is acting vindictively towards the opposition. Despite being a budget session, the parliamentarians emphasized the need to expedite the passage of necessary bills, including the education bill.
हिजो सम्झौता भएका र अहिले चाहिँ सडकमा आन्दोलनमा माग गरिएका चाहिँ मुद्दाहरूलाई कसरी सम्बोधन गर्न सक्छौं, त्यस ढंगले छिटोभन्दा छिटो विद्यालय शिक्षा विधेयक ल्याइनु पर्दछ, फास्ट ट्र्याकबाट ल्याइनु पर्दछ र यो मुद्दालाई सम्बोधन गरेर शिक्षकहरूलाई आफ्नो कार्यक्षेत्रमा फर्किने अवस्था बनाउनु पर्दछ।
हामीले यो अधिवेशनमा अति आवश्यक कानुनहरू बन्नुपर्ने छ। शिक्षकहरू आज 24 दिनदेखि आन्दोलनरत छन्। लाखौं विद्यार्थीहरूको भविष्य अन्हालमा परेको छ। नयाँ शैक्षिक सत्र सुरु भइसकेको छ, तर शिक्षकहरू सडकमा उत्रिनु परेको विडम्बनापूर्ण अवस्था हामी छौं।
24 दिनदेखि शिक्षकहरूको लगातार आन्दोलनहरू विभिन्न मागसहित काठमाडौँको विभिन्न स्थानमा भइरहेको छ। यसप्रति सरकारको गम्भीर ध्यान जाओस् र यस्ता समस्याहरू समयमा समाधान गरियोस्।
शिक्षकहरूका मागलाई सम्बोधन गर्नको लागि विद्यालय शिक्षा विधेयक छिटोभन्दा छिटो पास गर्नुपर्ने स्थिति छ। त्यस्तै संहितालाई कामकाजी बनाउनको लागि निजामती सेवा विधेयक, प्रहरी सेवा विधेयक पास गर्नुपर्ने छ।
The parliamentarians also condemned the terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir, India, and the deaths of Nepalese in the incident. A massive fire in Samriddhi Bazaar of Acham destroyed 10 shops. The fire broke around at 3:30 a.m. today in Hat Bazaar, located in Ward number 3 of Samriddhi municipality. It is reported that the fire started due to an electrical short circuit in the Samachar hotel and quickly spread, completely burning down 10 shops and causing losses worth millions. Due to the strong wind, the fire spread rapidly from Samachar hotel to other shops. Locals, Nepal police and armed police force were mobilized to control the fire. However, a lack of fire engines resulted in significant damage in Samriddhi Bazaar. With the help of security personnel and locals, the fire was brought under control at 6 a.m. Previously, on 9th of April, a similar fire occurred in Joygarh Bazaar of Acham. In that incident, 35 shops were completely destroyed, resulting in a loss of 80 million rupees. Durga Prasad, the primary suspect in the violent protest in Kathmandu on 28th of March, is under investigation for charges including organized crime and murder. If found guilty, he will face legal action. Additionally, the police are now scrutinizing his financial transactions in connection with the incident.
The police are preparing to file charges against Durga Prasad for arson, murder, organized crime and crimes against the state related to the March 28th incident. Prasad, not only a leader of the violent protests but also a controversial businessman, is under investigation for his financial activities. The Central Investigation Bureau CIB has obtained an arrest warrant from the Patton High Court to probe the misuse of assets belonging to Prasad, a medical practitioner, and the loans he obtained from banks. The CIB's investigation will examine Prasad's past attacks on banks and financial institutions. According to the findings, he is involved in 31 companies and has taken loans totaling approximately 6 billion Nepali rupees. However, Prasad has not invested in the businesses for which these loans were taken, instead diverting the funds elsewhere. Notably, Prasai secured a loan of 125 million rupees from NCC Bank in the name of Purbanchal Cancer Hospital, 50 million rupees from Investment Mega Bank for Hotel Atrium, and 100 million rupees from Goodwill Finance for UA Medical Supply and Equipment Private Limited. The CIB has identified complex suspicious transactions to obscure the origin of these funds. Prasai has failed to repay the principal or interest on loans for BNC Teaching Hospital and Research Center and Purbanchal Cancer Hospital for the past 4 years. He also took more loans than necessary for the projects. As of mid-Assos last year, his total debt had grown to 7.25 billion Nepali rupees from an initial 6 billion. These actions suggest violations of the Nepal Rashtra Bank Act and potential money laundering. The Supreme Court has already ordered the freezing of accounts related to Prasai's companies. The CIB is preparing to record his statement while he remains in custody at the District Police Complex, Kathmandu, and continues its investigation into money laundering and violations of the Nepal Rashtra Bank Act.
Welcome back. In our public voice segment, we have asked in several provinces what precautions should be taken in order to be safe from earthquake. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
टाउको र जिउलाई जो हाम्रो मेन शरीरको बीचको भाग मुटु फोक्सो भन्छौँ नि हामी छातीको भागलाई बचाउने गरी हामी अलि बलियो संरचनाभित्र बस्नुपर्छ।
भिरालो जग्गामा घरहरू निर्माण नगरेर सम्म र सुरक्षित ठाउँमा घरहरू बनाउने,
भूकम्प प्रतिरोधात्मक घरहरू निर्माण गर्ने,
संवेदनशील अङ्गहरूलाई चाहिँ बचाउने कोसिस गर्ने।
भुइँचालो आउँदा फर्स्टमा चाहिँ खुल्ला ठाउँमा जानु पर्यो।
जुरहरू अलि खुल्ला ठाउँमा बस्ने दा हो नि।
घर बुल्यो बनाउनु पर्छ, त्यति नै हो।
संरचना बनाउँदाखेरि एकदम चाहिँ राम्रोसँग बनाउने, मापदण्ड पालना गर्ने,
बलियो घर बनाउनु पर्यो।
ढोकाको बिचैमा अडिने, खाड छ भने खाडको मुन्तिर घुस्ने,
माथिबाट चाहिँ हाम फाल्नु भएन।
संरचना निर्माणमा चाहिँ मापदण्ड पुरा भएको छ कि छैन भनेर पहिलो ध्यान दिनुपर्छ।
मापदण्ड अनुसार संरचनाहरू भौतिक संरचनाहरू बनाउनु पर्छ।
अनुभवी पराविदलाई नसोधिन्जेसम्मलाई हामीले घर नबनाउने।
भूकम्पबाट आउँदाखेरि जस्तो कुन कसरी बच्ने, के गर्ने, कसरी गर्ने जो हामी सिकेका छौँ, बुझेका छौँ त्यसलाई चाहिँ पालना गर्ने।
सरकारले बनाएको नीतिलाई अथवा त्यो मापदण्डलाई टेकेर घर बनाउनु पर्यो।
भूकम्प भनेर चाहिँ जुन बेला पनि जान सक्ने भएर सतर्कता अपनाउनु पर्छ।
भूकम्प प्रतिरोधी भवनहरूको एउटा मापदण्ड राखेको छ, ल्याएको छ। त्यो मापदण्ड बमोजिमका हामीले घरहरू बनाउनु पर्ने छ।
भूकम्प आइहाल्यो भने हामी सुरक्षिततर्फ खुल्ला ठाउँमा जाने।
घरभित्रै लुक्नु पर्यो राम्रोसित सबैजना है कि खुल्ला ठाउँमा भाग्नु पर्यो।
खम्बा पोलहरूको छेउमा नबस्ने, रुखहरूको छेउमा नबस्ने, खुल्ला ठाउँमा बस्ने।
Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba stated that there is no dispute among the ruling coalition parties and dismissed rumors of a change in the power equation as unfounded. Speaking to the media at Tribhuvan International Airport upon his return from Thailand, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba stated that there is no dispute within the ruling coalition and dismissed rumors of a shift in power equation as baseless. Foreign Minister Arju Rana, who accompanied Deuba, also refuted speculation that their visit to Thailand was related to political change.
देशमा अब अलिकति क्वाइट भएपछि अलिअलि एन्टरटेनमेन्टको लागि पनि अलिकति यस्तो न्युजहरू आउने गर्छ र अब हामी सरकार परिवर्तन गर्न त नेपालभित्रै बसेर गर्नुपर्ने होला। विदेशमा गएर त यहाँको सरकार त परिवर्तन हुँदैन र हामी पनि आफै छक्क पर्यौँ हिजो यो न्युजहरू हामीले हेर्दाखेरि र बेलुका चाहिँ सभापतिज्यू र प्रधानमन्त्रीज्यूको यो बारेमा कुराकानी पनि भएको छ। यस्तो केही पनि छैन।
Arju Rana stated that the Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli and Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba discussed government matters as recently as last evening. President Deuba and Minister Rana, who departed for Bangkok on April 20th, returned yesterday. It is time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba's claim of stable power alliance? Option A, possibly true. Option B, can't trust power dynamics. And option C, time will tell. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. With the onset of summer season, industrial areas have started experiencing more load shedding due to the lack of electricity imposed from India during the night. The Electricity Authority has stated that they have been unable to supply electricity to industries at night for the past 5 days due to the import disruptions. India, which had been providing electricity at night since March 28, had reduced electricity exports to Nepal to 70 megawatts. The authority says that even though there is load shedding in industries, there will be no problem in supplying electricity to the household sector.
एउटा चाहिँ अत्यधिक गर्मी भयो हामीले पनि महसुस गरेकै हो यहाँ हैन अनि हाम्रो मौसम विज्ञानले पनि तराई क्षेत्रमा एकदम लुले लाग्न सक्छ भनेको थियो भनेपछि बिहार त त्यो न गर्मी भयो उता त्यो केस भयो दोस्रो केस चाहिँ सायद हाम्रो विज्ञप्तिमा लेखेको छ आईपीएल ले पनि उनीहरुको डिमान्ड त साँझ पख बढी हो जोगलाई चाहिँ हामीले उनीहरुले खोजे जति हामीले र हामीले कोसिस गर्दा पनि धेरै बिजुली दिन सकेन 8 घण्टा 9 घण्टा त हामीले त्यो दिनै सकेन के त्यसमा.
The Electricity Authority's projects generate 474 megawatts and subsidiary companies generate 520 megawatts. In addition, there is 634 megawatts from private companies. There is a shortage of 372 megawatts to supply to industries when electricity demand is high and electricity cannot be obtained from India. Although India has a policy of providing electricity from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. recently, at the request of the government, up to 600 megawatts of electricity was coming in at night after March 27th. However, due to the increased consumption in India itself, exports to Nepal have been reduced. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.